So I'm going to show you today my favorite painting in the whole wide world in my house. Now, I know nothing about Arabian horses, but I know one thing is my dream since a child was to own an Arabian horse, and I don't think that'll ever happen to me. And so nonetheless, a couple of years ago, back in 2015, I saw this painting on an online auction site, but it wasn't eBay, it was shopgoodwill.com. And shopgoodwill.com has an eBay-like auction site where several of their sellers actually from the Goodwill stores place these items like that are vintage up for auction. And I saw it and I fell in love with the image of this horse. Now, from a small child, I've always dreamed to own an Arabian horse because of the movie The Black Stallion. And so nonetheless, I saw this image and I immediately wanted it. And I saw it had a week left to go. And I sweat out that auction for 1 week, wondering if I would ever have a chance to own this beautiful image. And it turns out this horse actually is not just a painting of a horse, but a real horse that was once alive, that lived on the Jacktone Ranch in Stockton, California, bred and owned by Marjory F. And this was a relative of some famous horses. This is Ferdare or Ferdare. I don't know if I'm getting his name right. But nonetheless, he's a beautiful Arabian. And I believe he's from the Crabbit line. And again, I know nothing about Arabian horses, but I just know from the minute I laid eyes on the movie in 1979, The Black Stallion, I wanted an Arabian. And that movie was so magical for me. I loved that movie. That movie was just absolutely amazing. And so I'm going to show you a close-up of this painting. Now, the funny part was I didn't know anything about this horse, and I looked up his name before the auction ended to find out more info about him. And there was a message board, an active message board at the time, and Arabian horse enthusiasts were talking about this horse, Ferdare or Ferdare. And they were all talking about how they wanted this painting in the worst way. And I was nervous. I was very nervous, wondering if I was going to be the actual winner of this painting. And so I didn't have too much money to spend. And so I sweated out and I won the painting. And it turns out the artist, Sharon Hessian, painted this painting in 1971. And somebody on the message board, because I had contacted the people on the message board, knew Sharon Hessian and actually boarded a mare, an Arabian mare, alongside Sharon Hessian. And Sharon Hessian did a pencil sketch of her mare for her. And she told me the funny part was, because I talked about the Black Stallion, was that Cassoulet, one of the horses that played the Black Stallion, was actually there as well, alongside their horses being boarded. And I find that very cool. And so this horse has direct lines to a famous horse that was owned by Lady Wentworth by the name of Raseyn. I believe the name was Raseyn or Raseyn, and also was a member of the family of another Lady Wentworth Arabian Stallion by the name of Skowronek. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and so don't laugh at me, by the way. And also a descendant of Fadjur, and Fadjur was actually one of Marjory F. beloved horses on her ranch. He was one of the most beautiful Arabian stallions, and he was actually, this horse Fadjur has relatives. His grandparents were the parents of Fadjur. And so as you can see, look at this beautiful, beautiful horse. And actually, one of my dreams as a child was to go horseback riding and learn how to ride horses. And I grew up in Queens, New York, in a little town called Woodhaven. And Queens, New York is not the most beautiful places in New York State. As a matter of fact, it's very, very city-like. It has a lot of industry, there's a lot of factories and buildings, and there was really no wildlife there. And it was very rare to see any kind of wildlife, let alone a horse. And in the middle of Woodhaven, Queens, was a park by the name of Forest Park. And Forest Park was an oasis away from the city. And this beautiful park had an antique carousel horse ride in it. And it had several other really cool things like pony rides, a golf course. It was just absolutely stunning with the forest, and it was on a glacier deposit. And so nonetheless, when I was a little girl, I begged my father for horseback riding lessons, which are always very expensive. and he said he would think about it. And in 1979, when the Black Stallion came out, for Christmas, he gave me as a gift 12 horseback riding lessons at the little stable that was connected to Forest Park. And I learned how to ride horses. And when I was a little girl, I used to pretend I was actually riding the Black from the Black Stallion. And yet the old tired horse by the name of Jubilee, I never forgot the name of the horse I learned how to ride on, was actually, I used to pretend that it was the Black Stallion. But it was an old mare, and I believe she was a Palomino. She had spots. I don't know if that's the correct term because I know nothing about horses. And so nonetheless, this is my favorite painting in the whole wide world. And I won it, and I'm just absolutely thrilled. You can see the fire in this horse's eyes, the soul of an intelligent creature, a creature that was gentle, but yet smart, but possessed. And you can see all the spots and the platinum colored tail and mane. And I love the artist, how she used the colors of the clouds and the sky and the grass, and it's just absolutely a beautiful, beautiful painting. And I just can't believe I won this beautiful painting. And there's her signature, and there's a little placard that says Ferdare or Fadjur. And so I was just absolutely thrilled to have this painting. So stay tuned, I'll show you some more interesting information about Ferdare or Fadjur, and I'll show you why I fell in love with Arabian Stallions. So here is Ferdare's pedigree, and as you can see, his grandparents, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Fadjur and Bint Sahara, were the actual parents of Fadjur, which was Marjory Tone's beloved Arabian. And so he also is related to none other than, I'll find it in a second, here we go, Raseyn or Raseyn, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and also another Lady Wentworth horse by the name of Skowronek, and Skowronek is well known as well. And so he has an amazing pedigree, and so I'm going to actually also show you what he looked like in real life. So let me find his picture, hang on one second. And so here he is in real life. It's a pixelated old photo, but this is him in the flesh, and I believe that's Marjory F riding him. He won the Legion of Merit, and that's a really amazing award for an Arabian. And this is why I love this horse so much, and I love this painting so much. And so stay tuned, I'm going to show you another cool thing and why I love this painting so much. And so you'll see in a moment. So stay tuned. So this is the movie that started my love for Arabian horses, although I know nothing about them, never rode one. This movie in 1979, when I was 6 years old, changed my life. And look how powerful this scene is, where the young boy learns how to ride the Black Stallion. So I don't know, this brings tears to my eyes. Take a look at how beautiful this scene is. I'll fast forward it now to the good part. is why I love that movie. Thanks for watching. And this is also why I love that painting.